Beijing, July 30th, 2025. A relentless sequence of torrential downpours brought Beijing to a standstill over the final days of July, unleashing the most severe flooding the city has witnessed in over a decade. Between July 28th and 30, near constant rainfall, measuring up to 573.5 millimeter in some districts, transformed streets into rivers, isolated entire communities, and exposed persistent vulnerabilities in the capital's urban infrastructure and emergency response systems. In the northern districts of Miyun and Yongqing, the city's mountainous terrain acted as a natural funnel, channeling rainwater downhill with violent force. High-speed torrents surged through low-lying zones, overwhelming drainage systems and triggering sudden surges in river levels. Entire roadways were rendered impassable. Public transportation ground to a halt. In key suburban corridors, water levels rose shoulder-high within hours, submerging vehicles and washing away road foundations. Power grids in over 130 villages failed under the strain of water damage and landslides. Thousands of households were left without electricity or communication, isolating them from both information and emergency services. Rescue teams faced significant delays in reaching stranded residents due to washed-out roads, collapsed bridges, and muddy terrain that defied the use of wheeled transport. The Miyun Reservoir, Beijing's primary water source, reached its highest water level since 1959, prompting emergency discharge operations that added pressure to downstream channels already buckling under the volume. Although designed for flood control, the reservoir's rapid filling rate demonstrated how close Beijing came to a hydrological tipping point. The city's second-tier reservoirs and stormwater basins proved largely ineffective in slowing the surge, underscoring concerns over aging flood control infrastructure. Throughout urban districts such as Haidian, Shijingshan, and Changping, critical infrastructure suffered extensive damage. Subway lines were suspended, tunnels flooded, and entire residential blocks lost heating and water pressure. Drainage systems in newly developed suburban areas proved underbuilt and inadequately maintained, evident from widespread backups and overflowing manholes. At major intersections, water gushed from underground rail vents, washing debris and sediment into the heart of city streets. The storm severely disrupted logistics and supply chains. Warehouses on Beijing's outskirts reported damage to inventory and structural collapse due to flooding. Agricultural fields in peri-urban zones, especially in Pinggu and Huairu, were inundated. Local markets saw rapid price hikes for fresh produce and staple goods due to logistical bottlenecks and road closures. Emergency food and water distribution systems were overwhelmed in multiple evacuation centers, where displaced residents crowded into schools and sports halls. Business centers in the city's northeast, including Zhongguancun, suffered partial shutdowns as data centers, offices, and server rooms lost power or were preemptively evacuated. telecommunications providers scrambled to restore service, with some internet blackouts lasting over 48 hours in hard-hit areas. In industrial parks near Tongzhou and Yizhuang, several factories suspended production after machinery was damaged by water ingress. In Tianjin and Hebei, the storm's footprint expanded, straining regional coordination. Beijing's drainage outflows added volume to downstream river systems, accelerating spillover effects across borders. Road networks linking the capital to neighboring cities were blocked in multiple places by landslides or submerged under meters of water. The Beijing-Chengde Expressway remained shut for over 48 hours due to flood damage and debris accumulation. The July 2025 floods have triggered calls for a rethinking of Beijing's urban and environmental planning. Experts warn that the city's reliance on vertical development and rapid land conversion has sacrificed critical natural drainage systems, such as wetlands and floodplains. With climate volatility increasing, similar events may grow more frequent and more damaging if structural and policy reforms remain sidelined. This flood was not unprecedented because of rainfall alone, but because of the scale of exposure it revealed. Beijing's infrastructure, logistics, and community resilience systems all came under pressure, and many buckled. As the waters recede, the true measure of this disaster will not be in the intensity of the storm, but in how the capital responds to the vulnerabilities it laid bare. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. Note: some footage in this video may be used for illustration and may not show the exact event described. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe,